Hey, have you ever felt a little bit scattered in your creative practice? Maybe all of the projects that are growing, some of them need a little trimming and you don't know when to start or what to do around the edges? Well, if so, you arrived at the right place. Come on, roda a vinheta. I'm Frederico Forte, aka Frederico 7. I'm a musician, also a project manager in the arts, an arts educator. I've been in the arts for over 30 years, and my passion is to really empower myself, my friends, and others to lead sustainable careers in what we choose, in what we love. So today I'm excited because we are talking about integration, the underpinning reason why all of us creatives and artists began and chose this difficult path, and because we want to bring that that joy, that magic, that freedom that got us to start telling stories, playing an instrument, painting, singing, running, doing, what you do that you love, to bring that into our lives, right? So we, at one point, we fell in love with something and we were like, oh, it doesn't matter. Whatever it takes, I want to dedicate more time and more passion and throw myself with abandon in this direction. Like in the arts, we are always integrating intuition versus intellect, for example. You know, how whether you are a dancer, whether you are a songwriter like myself, how much is really purely coming from that being a magnet and connecting, of tuning myself and tuning myself to nature, and also how much is the intellect, is the study of chords, is the study of other songs and songwriters and harmonies and things that I can bring into my ideas to make them shine or to make them more rich. As creatives, we are always between the chaos and order, the hard and soft things that I love. Most of the aesthetics that I particularly love is the juxtaposition of order and chaos, of hard and soft, whether it is in music, whether it is in painting and so forth. So we are always searching for that integration, finding those elements that are seemingly opposite and bringing them into complex harmony. In our art, we are dealing with survival versus transcendence, being that human and all of our limits and the pure transcendence of the freedom that we get from these artistic practices. We are integrating the personal with the collective. How we choose to display those or to intertwine the arts are a constant process of integration. That's already what attracted us to our craft. That's already what we do. Now, maybe for a minute today, we're going to allow ourselves to take a bird's eye view, look at our lives from above, at our rhythm, at our creative practice of where each one of us is, whether you have a day job and you're juggling many things and keeping your creativity alive, whether you are like me, that maybe half of your income is coming from the arts and the half you are doing other things. Maybe you're already established artist, established musician, and all you do is already in the creative realm, but you are burned out. So meditating a bit on how we bring ourselves, how we embody our practices, and how we bring this integration from the art into our business, into the everyday life, we allow us to walk with more authenticity, and more importantly, to assert the rhythm that you want in your practice, to really have that control, right? Control for your freedom. So what I'm curious to know from you is, do you have rituals that you bring into your practice? And what do I mean? Rituals could be just something big or small that you establish that, I don't know, kind of assign to yourself that, hey, we are entering a particular realm. For example, with me, I have several little things that I do. I have some jewelry that I only wear on stage, and it's not always visible, but The act of putting that jewelry, it's really telling myself a signal, allowing myself to really live inside the songs that I'm gonna sing, to really be in the time that I'm going to play, um, to exude the joy to the crowd, a joy that is a timeless joy. Just putting that jewelry on for me, it's this little ritual that puts me in that place. You are creating that sacred space in your artistry, and that is bringing some integration. You're bringing the sacred and the magical into your real life, and that's really this magic. That's when we talk about integration, is really some elements of your artistry. Can you bring some of those elements, really embody them? If you are a dancer, or if you're a musician, or if you're a painter or a writer, but how often do you just play on other practices? Like as a musician, when was the last time that you threw yourself on a painting project, for example? Or if you are a writer, when was the last time that you tried to really go into a dance practice? That is something that is cross-pollinating and embodying it. And you're bringing things from one practice, you're going to bring that back into your other practice, into your main practice. And that conversation is another possibility for integration. You take one thing out into the world, then you go back into the world on a different format, and you're in the different art forms, you're still dealing with the things that I was talking about earlier: chaos versus order, right? Simplicity versus complexity, the collective versus the personal. Whether you are in theater, whether you're writing, whether you are songwriting, playing instruments, all of this come into play, because these are the natural processes that the arts are meant to bring together. So it's interesting for us to play across those spheres as well, and that drives that inner rhythm even stronger. That brings that integration into our practice. So once again, we are taking a bird's eye view, looking at ourselves, at our careers, what we are doing. Are we building pauses to listen to what we need? Maybe it's 1 month of the year that you slow down. Maybe it's a time of the week that you really go into meditation. Oh, there is a value to have a creative journal where you're keeping track and codifying some things into your brain about the importance of your practice. That helps to build the resiliency in your rhythms. And today, do you have rituals? What are your rituals? I'm curious. Are you playing with other types of art as well? And what do you get from that when you do that? And please comment here on the video. I would love to hear about that. Having these conversations between art forms, it's something else that brings that embodiment and allows innovation to take place. For myself, something that has been a new practice for me has been dedicating myself to writing. I have been writing a whole lot, both fiction and also just writing the story of my family and writing my story. There's some interesting things that were important for me, and the more that I've been doing that practice, I started journaling during the pandemic, and then now it has turned to all of these writing projects. I'm finding a lot of benefit in understanding some inner landscapes of myself that were a little bit different in the way that I would approach that, as opposed to the approach that I have as a songwriter. Has been very healing, I must say, giving me a lot of desire to keep exploring that and exploring other things. What I'm finding is that when I'm showing up for my songwriting, my vision is just sharper. Like I want to do other things, maybe acting, painting, and so forth, because I want to bring that inner child that is so full of wonder and joy, and is just a baby that is not tainted by knowing a lot of one thing or another. I want to approach things with some freshness, and I think that then I can bring that freshness back into my main practice. Isn't that what life is all about, anyways? Isn't that what keeps us motivated and excited? If you share that sentiment, like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share with me what are the rituals that you bring into your practice that kind of put you in the zone, help you really bring the magic into our physical world. What are some of the practices that maybe you've been doing outside of your main thing that when you bring it back to it, what do you get from it? Once again, with me, I've been doing so much writing that now when I go back into music, I think telling more stories with my bass lines and things like that. All right, it's been great touching base with you. This is Fortify by Forte. I hope you got something interesting. Let's keep the conversation going. Be creative out there. I'll talk to you later. Abraço. Ciao.